Steve was always early. Every morning before the sun came up, he stood outside the police station, staring at the empty street, coffee in hand, eyes tired, mind loud. No one knew what was really going on inside him. He looked strong, calm, disciplined, but he was fighting something no one could see. If you enjoy real-life stories that change the way you think, you can subscribe, only if it feels right to you. Because stories like this might stay with you longer than you expect. Steve had a problem. He could not stay consistent. He would start strong, then stop. Gym for 3 days, then quit. Wake up early for a week, and sleep in. Promise himself he would study, then waste hours scrolling. But at work, he had no choice. He had to show up. People depended on him. That was the strange part. He could be disciplined for others, but not for himself. And deep down, that truth was eating him alive.
One night, everything changed. Steve was called to a quiet neighborhood. No sirens, no noise, just a simple call. An old man had reported something strange. When Steve arrived, the house was dark. The street felt heavy. The old man opened the door slowly. His eyes were sharp, too sharp. He looked at Steve and said something that made no sense at first. "Come in. You are late." Steve frowned. Late for what? The old man stepped aside. "For your life." Steve walked in, confused. The house was empty. No furniture, just one chair in the middle of the room. The old man pointed at it. "Sit." Steve hesitated, but something told him to listen, so he sat. The old man walked in circles around him, slow, calm, intentional. Then he spoke. "Discipline is not what you do when people are watching." He stopped. "It is what you do when no one cares." Steve stayed quiet. The old man leaned closer. "Right now, you are losing a war no one can see." Those words hit harder than anything. Steve felt exposed. The old man continued. "You think you lack motivation. You think you need the right mood, the right moment." He shook his head. "No, you are simply avoiding pain." Steve looked down. It was true. The old man picked up a small rock from the floor and handed it to him. "Hold this." Steve held it. "Now imagine carrying this all day, every day. It gets heavy, not because it is heavy, but because you never put it down." Steve nodded slowly. "That is your life," the old man said. "You carry the weight of knowing what you should do, but you refuse to act, so the weight stays." Silence filled the room. Then the old man said the one thing Steve could not forget. Discipline is choosing pain now, so you do not live in regret later. That night, Steve went home different. No loud music, no big speech, no sudden motivation, just a quiet decision. The next morning, his alarm rang. He did not feel ready. He did not feel strong. He felt tired, but he got up. No thinking, no arguing, just action. He made his bed. He did 10 push-ups, then 10 more the next day. He read 1 page of a book, then 2 the next day. It felt small, almost useless, but he kept going. Some days he failed, some days he slipped, but he did not quit again. That was new. Weeks passed, then months. Something started to change. Not fast, not dramatic, but real. His mind became quieter. His focus became sharper. His body became stronger. But the biggest change was inside. He started trusting himself. One night, there was a serious call, A dangerous situation. Armed suspect. High risk. Steve arrived at the scene. Calm. Steady. Focused. While others hesitated, Steve moved. Not because he was fearless, but because he had trained himself to act when it was hard. The situation ended safely. No one got hurt. Later, his partner looked at him and asked, "How did you stay so calm?" Steve paused. Then he smiled slightly. "I practiced." That was the truth. Not talent, not luck. Practice. Every small choice had built that moment. Every early morning, every uncomfortable action, every time he chose discipline over comfort, it all added up. Here is the brutal truth about discipline. It is not exciting. It is not loud. It will not always feel good. But it will change your life in ways nothing else can. Because discipline is not about big moments. It is about small choices, repeated when no one is watching. If this story spoke to you, you can subscribe, not just for content, but to join a journey of becoming stronger, calmer, and more in control of your life. And if you are ready to take it one step further, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe. Not for me, for the version of you that you are trying to become. Because in the end, no one is coming to save you, but you can build yourself, one small decision at a time. Start today, not tomorrow.